I just what my face does. It endears
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh my god! Imagine if this is the first thing people hear when we go live.
I would love
Yeah.
it.
Good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell them.
Always chaotic. Hello, everyone. Welcome
It's what they
to
deserve. It's
It's
what
what they
everyone
deserve.
deserves.
It's the final episode discussion for 2021. So I guess we are allowed to be a little chaotic.
I mean, let's be as messy as 2021. Let's do that.
Oh, there you go.
That's what we do best. So take that, legends. We are messier than you. No,
Not
but hello,
possible.
everyone. It could be possible. But hi, everyone. So we're gonna get started right away, shortly. So that's a statement that contradicts itself. So yeah, enjoy this epic intro by David Jones and Mike Schmidt, and we'll be right back. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Thirty seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast, your podcast for all things related to CW's The Flash, starring Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, aka The Flash. I'm your host, Andy B, as always, and joining me, as always, are my amazing co-hosts, Toddy, Breeze, Lazy Girls. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I'm sad that's going to be the last time we see that little intro. It's so great.
It is a pretty doozy one. Big shout out to David Jones and Mike Schmidt, who worked so hard on this. Even though Despero and Barry never freaking played chess.
That is a tragedy, a travesty.
Yes, release the chess cut.
Exactly.
But how's everyone doing? When's I think the last time we were all together was for 802. Then I think everyone was like 1 week. Someone was gone, then someone else was gone, and now we're actually finally back together. I think.
Now that it's over.
Yeah, now that it's over. But we're just so fitting that we're together for the final one, because this is definitely our final episode discussion for 2021. There will be one more episode with me and some other people, and then we will return sometime in 2022. But first of all, everyone who is live in with us in the chat, welcome. Hope everyone's doing great, staying safe as always, and that everyone's now watched part 5 and are caught up, because we're gonna go full into spoiler territory. But first of all, before I get to the news, because we got a lot of news, I have to enforce a certain rule tonight. In light of a sort of movie that is coming out in theaters, it's like some indie film, like I don't know, like an up and coming, big blockbuster studio called Sony. I don't know what they are, but they have this film coming out called Spider-Man something something something, and I know some people have seen it, and I have to. I'm going to put out this disclaimer that any spoiler, if anyone has seen it, any spoiler gets dropped in the chat, you will get banned.
Oh,
yes, because we have members on this panel.
Forever.
Business.
And forever.
Forever. I don't know, like, actually how long the ban would last, but like, we will
until we have seen it. We no longer care. No.
Yes. Be thoughtful of your fellow internet people, because Twitter, despite no matter how much you mute certain words, they still show up in your feed, and
It's true.
So let's just be focus on Flash, DSTV, everything tonight, and so on, and we'll be good. So but let's head over to the news, and y'all, there's some good Flash and Arrowverse news. So Lazy, who's coming in the second half of the season?
A new person. Hold on, I legit just scrolled past the thing I was supposed to read. Okay, so the big Flash specific news is that Mika Abdallah, whose name I have probably just pronounced very incorrectly, has been cast as Legion of Superheroes character Tinya Wazo, who is a real name of a character, and is apparently going to be the Arrowverse's version of Apparition / Phantom Girl in season 8.
Let's go, Queen.
I'm going to need some more info on this character, but first I will read the description from the wrap. It says, after years of successfully hiding in plain sight, reluctant meta teenager Tinya Wazo's life is turned upside down when she becomes the subject of Iris West Allen's latest investigation for CC Citizen Media. Soon, Tinya is thrust into a dangerous world she never knew existed, one that will change her life forever. I mean, are there ever any of these things that don't change people's lives forever?
Exactly.
Just asking.
Exactly.
It's like mandatory to include.
It's like, oh, it can't just be like, I found this thing out and it was fine.
Yeah, no, and then nothing
Kept
happened.
it moving.
And then we just chilled.
This, I will admit, is a character I have like zero familiarity with. So, does anyone want to give the people an explainer? That is...
I could tell you that she is the daughter of Wyman Wazo. Is that the name? I don't know who that is either, so I can't help you. Also, she's Bigzitillion from the planet of Bigzitil. That is a fourth dimension parallel with Earth. So that's
definitely
cool.
would not have known that from this description.
She can fly. She can do dimensional travel. She's good at hand-to-hand combat. Something that maybe Team Flash could use a few lessons on. So that's good.
True. So do we think do we think she's meant to be connected to any of like the Legion characters that were Supergirl?
I feel like she should be.
That's what I'm confused about, though. And Ollie 10305 said, so she's from the future. How did she get here? If she's in hiding, it sounds like she's been in hiding for a while. Is that after she left the Legion, or is she going to join the Legion? It's a little confusing.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with her either. Like, when the casting news came out, the name Tinya was specifically the one that they were referencing. But like when I started Googling, being like, this has to be someone from DC, and it was like Apparition and then Phantom Girl. I'm like, oh, another Legion character. Which is interesting because Supergirl just ended, and that's where Legion has been mostly present. So I feel that I don't know if there is meant to be a bigger setup, but I mean, I think it's fun that it's going to be part of Iris' story, and I know a lot of people have been speculating that it may be related to her time sickness. That maybe like, who says that this is even in the present? This could what if Iris gets sucked into the future and she starts investigating there or something? I don't know, but I and if they do something more with Legion, it would be fitting because I know that in season 5, at least pre-crisis, Nora was referenced to be one of the members of the rebooted Legion. Now they're all in the same universe, of course. So it's like, could this be somehow a foundation for the Legion that we see in the future, or is this meant to set up that in the future there is a team that they're a part of, and this character is part of it too, and that kind of sets it up and whatnot? That's just my thoughts. I don't know. I don't think it says like how many episodes going to be in and so on, but like it's, I always love it when they bring in new DC characters, and kind of, if it's like either for a one-off or if it's something that is more recurring, then they become, someone a big fan favorite. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm happy for Iris.
Yes, but, I'm glad that it's going to be like an Iris story, and I agree that it's probably going to be connected to her time sickness in some way, whether it involves her traveling to the future or this lady traveling to the present because she's hiding and then helping for some reason. I don't know anything that's happening, but I am excited, and I do think it makes sense to be a part of the Legion of Superheroes because Supergirl's over, so it's not like you can go to Supergirl, but maybe we could still continue some of those stories or name drop how some of those characters might be doing by having someone from that Legion on Flash.
Yeah, and we'll probably do a character spotlight like sometime in like maybe February or something before the show comes back. So because we got 3 months, y'all, and so but no, it's still fun to see what's being said. But also, I think if I read it correctly, she's Middle Eastern. So they're if that's correct, then hey, I'm always here for more Middle Eastern superheroes in the Arrowverse. So
right,
good for them. So what's next? How do I think the next one is for
well,
you?
In real life news, Jordan Fisher revealed that he and his wife went to the store and picked up a baby.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. They are expecting their first child in 2022, and it is a son, a boy. Yay! Jordan Fisher and co. I guess we should all give our thoughts on this news.
I believe his wife's name is Ellie. I feel like we should
yes,
know
thank
her.
you.
Good job, Ellie.
She is actually
Good job, Ellie. Good job.
the reason they're making fun of the reason they're laughing at this is because before we went live, I said, "Oh, but whoever wants to mention the news about Jordan Fisher getting a baby," and they were like, "Annie, you don't get a baby in a you're having a baby." I'm like, "Wait, but like that's what I meant." But like getting a baby sounds like you're like getting it in a store. I'm like, well,
that is what I was referring to. Yes, and yes, her name is indeed Ellie Woods. And she is his childhood sweetheart. How cute.
Oh, yeah. No, that video was like so beautiful.
Them.
Yeah.
That video is beautiful.
They're going to make a really good looking kid.
Probably.
That is true.
But if he's not good looking, we'll still love him. Or his parents will anyway.
But so congratulations to Jordan and Ellie if you happen to watch this. Everyone in there was becoming parents, but Elizabeth Noyes, Grant Gustin, now Jordan Fisher. So
oh my God, that means that Grant and Candace are becoming grandparents.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be corny.
Yeah, I was corny for you.
But yes, they are.
So what's next, Breeze, in the Arrowverse?
Yeah, so this is in broader Arrowverse news. It was announced that the CW is developing another DC TV show from Batwoman producers. I can't say that last name, James Stotero. I hope I'm saying that close enough. Chad Fivash and Natalie Abrams. The team is developing Gotham Knights, which would not be a Batwoman spinoff, nor would it have anything to do with the upcoming video game. Not at all confusing. The synopsis is, in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Cape Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights. So that is the synopsis for this show that is in development, and I will save my thoughts for last because I have many. So,
well, can I just say, why do we hate Bruce Wayne? I'm so confused. Batwoman shows up and they're like, Bruce Wayne's been missing or something. Maybe he gone on vacation. I don't actually know, for like 5 years. And now they're like, actually, Bruce Wayne is dead. And I was like, why? Why do you hate this man? Can you just not like be off screen? You know, just not seeing him? Does it have to be like literally missing in action? Anyway, that's all. That's all my thoughts.
Yeah, this sounds really weird to me. Like, I don't know. Like, does Bruce Wayne have a rebellious adopted son?
I mean, he
somewhere, or
has
are we
a-
just
I
like
mean-
making this up.
I mean, it would. I mean, rebellious. I think it would be Jason Todd.
Yeah,
but,
Jason
uh,
Todd sounds like that's. But
I'll
but
get
Jason
to my
Todd's
points
already.
about this.
Yeah, he's already in
okay.
Titans.
Because mostly
so it's
I'm just like, this is really confusing sounding. I don't know. Surely there has to be something else interesting to do with the entire sort of concept and setup of
the Bat
Gotham.
family.
Or the
Well,
yes, the Bat family as well. But I was just say just of Gotham. Like this is like Gotham is in trouble because Bruce Wayne is gone. Insert person here will rise to save it.
Right.
And I'm like, that show is already on and it's called Batwoman.
Exactly. You know what I would do? I would think would be cool is if you could do like, you know how Batwoman is like Bruce is missing, right? So what if you did like the other side of that, right? What if you did a show about where Bruce actually is and the team that he gathers there, right? And like for whatever reason he and Batwoman can't, you know, he can't get back to Gotham and she can't find him. Just, you know, I don't would do that. But I guess the point is you can't show Bruce. That's the point.
Yeah,
Except
correct.
Titan scan.
Well, I mean, there's rights issues with it because I know broadcast wise they can't do as much, but on cable they have more freedom. But Craig Byrne from Flash TV News, etc. Hi, Craig. He bring up a good point.
Craig.
I don't get having Gotham Knights on while Batwoman is still a thing, and it's like. And to go, just to bring up my thoughts, the reason I was like, banging my head into the microphone before was because I'm like, okay, so this is so obviously not taking place on Earth Prime. Like, there's like because Bruce
Right.
isn't dead in the Arrowverse and whatnot. And for me, like, I'm also getting to the point where I'm like, okay, the Batman is coming. We're getting a Gotham Knights video game. We're getting a new 2 Batman animated shows, from what I understand. And there's Batman is like, and the thing is, I don't need another show that is like Bat related, and we can't use Batman because we had Gotham, we have Titans,
Mhm.
we have Pennyworth. Batwoman like is like where I'm like, okay, because it's doing its own thing. Like it doesn't need to be like they never present itself to be like a Bat related show. So for
Right.
me, I'm just like there has to be like. I mean, I think I was saying this to Greg. I'm like, we could have had Green Lantern Canaries, we could have had Wonder Girl, we could have had Painkiller, and then this is what like they're going for. And again, also like, yeah, I don't see the point of this. Who knows? Like, if it goes to series, because again, it's remind everyone, this is just in development. We will see what happens. But
Mhm.
if it goes forward, it could be great. But at the same time, like this, I don't care for this plot at whatsoever because I feel like it's just again, it feels like it's too repetitive, and it also just makes me disappointed that the things that we could have had didn't get to go forward when they felt a little more unique, and this is just like it's just Batwoman. It's like Batwoman but on another Earth, and we just can't have Bruce again. So, but Breeze, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like almost every member of the Bat family at this point is in a live action series. We don't need another Bat family show. Titans already became a Bat family show, for better or worse. There are so many other corners of DC Comics you could explore. Like, look at what they're doing with Naomi. That's like a new, fresh character. They could have done Wonder Girl if they hadn't canceled it. Maybe they can go back to it. I don't know. There's just so many other characters. We don't need more Batman. If you want Batman, you can go see him in theaters in March.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is weird. We will see where it goes. But and this could get redeveloped into something else. This could just be an early take on it. But I just I would rather have had Gotham Knights as a spin-off from Titans, where you could have had because there's just too many characters on that show. And so I think it's like DC just needs to start relying more on other characters that aren't just Batman, because every year there's tons of Batman projects everywhere. So there's that. And for finally, just as a reminder to everyone, so last night at the time of recording, was the last time Flash would air on Tuesdays at 8/7 Central, which I've never been so heartbroken about a time slot change in 10 years. So, but as a reminder, everyone, Flash will return in 2022 on a new night, starting on Wednesdays at March 9th at 8/7 Central, which was the whole time slot of Arrow. So, kind of a little Arrowverse legacy there. And that means that we're probably, most likely, almost definitely, our release date for Flash Podcast will be shifting as well. We haven't figured out the deets yet. Hopefully, if all of our schedules come together, hopefully Thursdays can work, whatever, and so on. But just so that everyone knows, Tuesdays will be now Superman Lois and Naomi Day, and then Wednesdays will be Flash in 2020 in March.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then and Flash Podcast wise, crossing fingers that it will be Thursday. So just everyone remembers, because 3-month hiatus, that's what we're in for. So, but with that said, let's get into the final part of Armageddon, which is episode 5 of season 8, called Armageddon Part 5, and it was written by Kristen Kim and directed by Menhaj Huja. And the big story of this episode is to save or not to save Mr. Eobard Chaotic Fawn, aka Reverse Flash. And so basically, he shows up in his fancy new suit and he's like, I need witnesses. So I'm gonna harass CCPD, and then our queen, Mia Queen, Green Arrow, shows up with the classic vigilante boys, and then Barry shows up and Eobard is like, save me, please. I need your help. And then the whole topic of the episode becomes, do we save him or do we not? Because time is catching up with him. So since we didn't have you last week, and also since it was yesterday your birthday, you get to start first on the chaos that was Eobard this week.
What a gift.
Yes.
No,
literally.
Well, the thing is, though, is that I feel like as much as I sort of enjoyed a lot of this, because I think that Tom Cavanaugh is really at his best, like when he gets to be Thawne, and it truly had one of the greatest like scenes that Daniel Panabaker has ever gotten to do, like finally getting like a decade worth of anger at him out. Like that was like, there were a lot of really interesting moments like that, but I kind of also felt like the ultimate thrust of it is like, are we heroes who choose to save people or heroes who punish people? Like we've done that story like 10 times. So I don't know. I thought it would have been more interesting maybe if they'd actually just let him die, but I knew that wasn't gonna happen because the show has to have Reverse Flash in it. So I don't know. I thought it gave rise to a lot of really interesting moments. I don't know that I needed to see Barry and company figure out that they're not killers again.
Tati, what about you?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I will say on the upside, I did really enjoy that we finally got to hear the quote unquote actual reason that Reverse Flash.
The reason is so dumb though.
Yeah, but it was better than last time because I hate you. And that was all I got for like 8 years. However, I do wish, like, because I felt like this is kind of stretching it thin, like a whole episode on whether or not to kill Eobard, when, like, of course, everyone's going to think we should just let him die until Joe comes in and yells at everyone. But I would have rather gone to Eobard's time and actually seen that play out, Like, if we could have rearranged Armageddon so that it would start in Eobard's time and we'd actually see their first meeting, and why Eobard hates Barry and then lead into all of this, that would have been so much fun and cool. But instead, we just hear it like, secondhand from Eobard himself in the midst of him trying to convince Barry to let him live, but doing a terrible job. Like, I was like, not even Eobard's making his own case. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to try to kill you. So why should we help you? What? So yeah. And I agree, we don't need a whole nother round of are we killers or are we saviors? Also, I would have much rather tried to them have spent more time figuring out why Nora's not back and trying to rescue Nora or whatever, instead of just like, oh man, sorry about that. So weird that Nora's still dead. Okay, bye.
just to clarify, it's just because we have a lot of Noras in the Arrowverse. It's so
Yes,
this
Nora
time it's
Dark.
Nora Dark.
Nora Dark, yes. Because the whole reason that Damien Dark helped them was so that his daughter would be alive again, but then she hadn't been back yet and he wasn't gone yet. And no one seemed to care that much about it. They were much more concerned about whether or not Eobard should be allowed to obliviate.
Please, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, building off of some of the things Tatiana said, like we all love Courtney Ford on this podcast, but yeah, the whole Nora storyline really did feel like an afterthought. I also agree they should have actually shown Eobard meeting the Flash. Now that Tati said that, I'm like, why didn't they do that? That's such a good idea. But I think, like, in general, I did like this story. I think it makes sense for him to come back. Like if they had just defeated him by like reversing the timeline, that would have been too easy. Like this is Barry's greatest foe. Like he has to like come back for a second round. But I do think that this whole storyline I think could have been done in 4 episodes. Like you cut the whole Chalegra storyline, move things around a little bit. I think 5 episodes was stretching it a little too thin. And I guess we'll get to Despero, but by the end, I'm just like, oh my God, shut up. I'm so sick of you. So.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I enjoy Eobard, and for me, I've said this before, when it comes to this show, like, I never want to see them ever, like, kill, I never want to see Barry, whether he's physically doing it or like, being, allowing someone to die on his watch. I never want to see that because that's not who Barry is to me. So, I will say that, one of the highlights of the whole Eobard thing was definitely, Caitlin and Eobard's huge scene. Because, because throughout the season, they focus so much on, there's been moments between Barry and Eobard, there's been moments between Barry and Cisco, and there's been, like another character, Eobard and Iris. But I feel like Caitlin has never like really like had that kind of like special moment, and like, her kind of expressing, why she has been committed to this for over 8 years, and that, basically her hatred for him is what fuels her to want to help protect the city, which I think is great. And like Lisa said, is one of Daniel Patrick's greatest scenes in all of Flash, honestly. So I did enjoy that. I on Tali's point, I did enjoy the fact that we got a little more deeper into why Eobard has had this hatred towards Barry. And even in the comics, it's I would have to go back and read like which versions, because there's just been so many iterations. But like he is, he like one of the core of why he's doing all of this is that he is really, really petty. Like he is really petty, but still, like, he's always remained one of Barry, if not the most iconic villains, the most iconic villain for Barry in all of the Flash legacy. So I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Do I think it's part 5 is as strong as other ones that come before? Probably no. I think 3 and 4 are probably some of my favorites, but like, I think as a whole, it's a good wrap up to what has been in my opinion a solid 5-part event. Not especially before we go on this big break. But honestly, because I know that Eric said in some interviews right before Armageddon that he wouldn't. I mean, of course, because he won't give spoilers, which I understand. But like he said, it basically, we're definitely not done with Eobard for the season. Like there's going to be graphic novels later this year that we'll deal with, and maybe that will show us what his life, kind of that first encounter, and what year would he? Hold on, let me go to Arrow. He is from. It seems at least from 2151. So hopefully, maybe we will go there for an episode or something in the back half of the season, because I think they're getting to a chapter now of the Eobard and Barry dynamic that the previous seasons hasn't really explored, because either he hasn't existed and been out of time, or he has been on Legends, or he has been or we've been dealing with other villains. So I feel we will get there, and at least before the show ends, whenever that might be. So but it was just again nice to be reminded of how petty he really is. But again, like I enjoyed it, and even just seeing Barry's reaction, being like, out of all the things that a sociopath can react to, like how can you obsess on such a small thing and just see just seeing so much of Eobard's anger was just a lot.
Mhm.
And again, just Caitlyn being like, well, maybe I don't have you know what Caitlyn had, Lazy. Caitlyn had her own Batman Begins moment with Ray Shuggle where Bruce goes, "I'm not gonna kill you, but also mean I have to save you," and then he just flies away.
Uh,
That was like
Also, the Ronnie name drop
yeah.
for like the second episode in a row.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah,
that's coming.
it's funny because I think Robert Miller just posted a few days ago on his Instagram story that he's filming right now, and I mean, could they be bringing him back? Could we actually be seeing Caitlyn get a happy ending? Like, what if Rodney has been alive this whole time?
That would be crazy.
Crazy good or crazy just like crazy as in like
No, I'd be
crazy
crazy
love?
good because that's what I wanted the whole time.
Yeah, and they always had again I love the earlier season where they had Caitlyn had Ronnie and and I think later we talked about it a few weeks ago, but Martin Stein is the father that Caitlyn never got to have. That is such a father-daughter dynamic between the two of them, and I will fight till my lungs give out on that. So yeah, but Eobard is now powerless, so
Powerless, we are powerless. Okay, continue.
So where did he go after? Did he say he went to Argus or whatever?
Yes, they said Cisco was like, okay, it's ready, so he's powerlessly going to Argus. But we know that's not the end.
I wonder who we might meet there.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people at Argus.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. What if he and Ramsey Rosso hung out?
That would be super cool.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think they would get along pretty well.
I can see it.
Is there anything else you guys want to bring up about the Eobard of it all?
I think the only, and I think we might have talked about this before we went live, but Joe giving them such a hard time about not saving him, even though technically, letting someone die when they pretty much did it to themselves because they were trying to kill other people. I feel like that's kind of a weird definition of murder. All they had to do was not help him, but Joe's like, he asked you for his help. Being a cop told me that you can't only help the people you like, blah blah blah. And I'm just
a lot. It was really we were joking about this before we went live, but it really felt like the Cecile version of a Joe speech. It was at level 75.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I don't need that from Joe. I didn't need him to literally grab them and take them to the back room to yell at them. That was weird.
Yeah, that was very much you are grounded for a month. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you tweet, you said something.
They are grown.
Also, Thawne tried to he tried to kill Barry. He tried to marry Iris against her conscious will in a different timeline. Come on, Joe. Pick your battles. This is not the right one.
I think, again, I'm not defending this too much because I did think it was a little ridiculous. Again, first of all, my ears, this is why I need to put the file on lower volume because that hurt my ears. But I think the reason he got so up in arms about it is because I think he has always seen this team as something where whether we help someone who we hate or love, it's he I don't think he was once team fight to be in a position where they decide who gets to live or die. If they can do something, they should, and then save his life but lock him up somewhere, which is what I that's kind of what I think he was trying to come from.
Yeah. Which I agree with it on principle. I just felt it just seems so weird to be spending so much time on this specific character, whether or not we should save him, and the way in which saving him versus not saving him didn't feel like that much of a difference.
Well, I think in the end, I think it because we were talking, Lazy was saying about this was a Cecile version of this. I think if we didn't have Cecile's whole spiel a few episodes ago, I wouldn't have been so with Joe's rage. I feel we don't need two. We give one is enough. So But like again, it was a little over the top, but also I get in a way what he was trying to convey. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's I just wonder what they're gonna do with Joe this season. Like, I don't like. It doesn't seem like he's gonna go back to being captain or whatever.
That's the question.
But do we want to move on to the next point that Lacey's been waiting to talk about for weeks?
Yes.
I'm so excited. My girl Mia is back. I know a lot of people have a lot of complicated feelings about Mia and her parents relationships and the end of Arrow and what did or did not happen with Green Arrow and the Canaries, but I am a longtime Mia fan, and I'm really sad that Green Arrow and the Canaries did not happen, yet I will be forced to watch this Gotham Knights show. Whatever. It's not cool. I was really excited to see her back again. Even though the show does not do a great job of explaining how she is back, somehow she is time traveling, following temporal energy somehow, which has led her to Thawne, because for her it has been 2 years, and she is still looking for her brother William, who went missing.
I cannot believe that.
Right? He's missing still from the end of the Green Arrow and the Canaries episode of Arrow. He's been kidnapped by some randoms and she can't find him, and she's like really pissed about it. And she gets sort of drawn into the whole, like, is it okay to be a hero who kills people debate before getting mind controlled by Despero and shooting my other girl in the leg. This was very emotional for me. But eventually, of course, she manages to break Despero's mind control through the power of goodness, or basically being like appealed to by Iris, who also gives her plenty of great life advice and helps her find a potential lead on her missing brother. So we stand. What else did she? Oh, and she even said that she thought Mia would get along really well with Bart and Nora, so we can set up that future teen superhero spinoff at any point. I do wish that, I don't know, I'm so happy that Mia is back that I am really just sort of like, woo, she can do whatever, but I don't know, I kind of feel like sticking her in the like, let's debate whether or not to be a killer plotline is, it's a little bit of a stretch for me, but I'm also just so glad to see her again that I am willing to hand wave it. How did everyone feel about seeing Mia again? And a Felicity reference, woohoo.
I was very happy to have her back, and happy to get a Felicity reference. I was not happy that poor William has been missing for so long. Save William!
I know, right? Where are they keeping him held?
Right. And I'm now invested in this plot line. Like, I'm like, we can't just leave it there. You can't just drop it there because we don't have a show to go back to fix that. We have to fix it on the Flash. Apparently, this is the place to do it. But yeah, I like that we have, kind of like a connection with Mia, Barry and Iris, and just in general, Team Flash and Mia. I agree with you that she's not actually really fit this particular storyline. But if she believes that Eobard has something to do with William, then, I guess it makes sense for that to weigh in. But yeah, overall, happy to see her.
Maybe it's just I didn't understand how her weird tracking temporal time signatures plus time travel thing worked logistically.
Okay, let me solve this.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
She borrowed Laurel's time courier, or whatever, however Laurel came to the future.
But why did it take her to Eobard?
Well, I guess she was. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how Laurel even came to 2040, but like if maybe whatever Laurel has is able to track those kind of energies when you're traveling back and forth. It's almost like you're driving. She was driving in one lane, and Eva was running in another lane. And she was like, temporal energy. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I did also like that she threatened Damien Dark. Another random moment that I don't know really needed to be in this episode, but was so great. I don't care. Where she threatened to just like stab him in the throat for Laurel. It's like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we haven't forgiven him for that. So
exactly. See, and you were wondering about that. You were like, how could they just forget about that? And then they didn't. Look at that.
Yeah. There you go.
Although I do think it's funny how everyone, like, whenever a person's like, okay, kill me, and everyone's like, wait, I guess I won't kill you then, since you said kill me. I have to stop.
I know. I can only kill you if you I can only kill you if you actively want to live.
Yeah.
Craig, I know she didn't know the original Laurel Lance, but that doesn't mean that she didn't hear about that history. Like I think that there's no reason she couldn't, why she wouldn't know about.
Right.
And she did have a relationship of. So I get a little confused sometimes, like which version of Mia this is, and like who she had various relationships with. But she did have a connection to Sarah too.
Yeah. So and like.
Yeah. Although to be fair, like it's not just that she didn't know the original Laurel Lance. Is that in this remade reality, Laurel Lance is alive, so he didn't kill Laurel Lance actually.
But this episode didn't take place in that reality. This was.
My head hurts.
Are you sure it didn't?
We should not do time travel
because William's only missing in the remade reality.
Right.
But that was last week. Like, wait, when you say
remade, wait, no, I'm talking about. Okay, remember Oliver died. And in so doing, he saved the world, like Jesus. Yes.
Yes, but Laurel still died. There was a Laurel that still died.
No, there wasn't. OG Laurel was still with Tommy. Like OG Laurel and Tommy were there at his funeral, at Oliver's funeral.
That wasn't OG. That was Earth 2 Laurel.
No, it was not.
Craig.
It was Earth 2 Laurel.
No. Yeah, because there's literally a scene where, oh my god, I remember when Craig tried to explain this to me, that there was a scene where Earth 2 Laurel asked Quentin, why didn't the other Laurel come back when Oliver rebooted the universe? And
oh my god, but Oliver didn't reboot. I don't remember this at all. Okay, well, whatever. It's fine.
Arrow season 8 streaming now on Netflix.
All right, well then, Oliver rebooting it was pointless. Thank you for nothing, Oliver. Okay.
Per usual.
As per usual.
Wow. Anyway.
Lazy feels so attacked.
I do feel so attacked.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I just don't like.
My little boat alone.
One day we need to do an episode about the mystery that is Oliver Queen. Like, why do people like him, and why do some people not like him? And
I really truly don't have strong feelings since I didn't really watch Arrow. I just feel like in their crossovers, he's always kind of mean. I don't know. He's just not my favorite.
He was a little. I mean,
that sounds fair.
He was more grumpy than mean. Like,
yeah, I guess that's it. He's just also like, I'll say my first impression of Arrow as a show. Like, I watched the very first episode when it premiered, and I was just immediately turned off because it wasn't my version of Ollie and Dinah. So goodbye. But I accept it for what it is.
Lazy, are you okay?
It's fine. People are allowed to have opinions.
What's the opinion that's upsetting?
Everybody craps on Oliver all the time. He's not that bad. Anyway, Mia, who is fantastic.
Yes.
Andy, tell us how you feel about Mia being back.
I just like you, Lazy, I am also very disappointed we didn't get Green Lantern Canaries because, like the background was good. I mean, there was something that I had issues with, but I was like, I am behind this idea of Mia being the new Green Arrow and having her two aunties, Auntie Lala, Auntie Dee Dee, as I call them, which it never caught on, so whatever. But there was
no show. You didn't have enough time to make it happen.
I don't know. For me, I've never had an issue with Mia as a character. I loved her, like I especially loved her in season 8, and I also was like, because then when Eric was just giving me homework in an interview, like, you should probably go rewatch that Backdoor Pilot. I'm like, Eric Wallace, how dare you give me homework? But you know what? I didn't mind doing that. So, and boy, he was not kidding. That there were definitely things they were going to tread on. And so I liked seeing Mia back. The hows and whys, for me, I don't, if I get too obsessed on that, not saying that you guys are, I'm just saying that, like, in general, if people are having those concerns, for me, I'm just happy seeing characters across this universe coming and meeting each other, whether it's from the past, the present, or the future.
I mean, Mia being there was just as sensical as Damien Dark being there, even though he's died 5 times.
It was all good for me. My only question was like when Iris was like, you should have a play date with Bart and Nora, basically. Y'all should be friends. I was like, why aren't they already friends?
I guess because they live in different cities. I don't, or she's been traveling around time like the past 2
maybe
years.
that's what it is. Yeah,
because that's the thing.
Well,
that's the thing I didn't really like as much about Mia, like in that spin-off episode is it wasn't like her original self. She was like kind of a debutante who happened to become a superhero after they kidnapped her brother. So I guess in the like those 2 years she's been looking for him, she's become like more of a badass.
But she
So
got
I
her
feel
memories
like
back. She got her memories back from pre-crisis. So like she's like basically like Lacey, you explain this.
She's an
I'm not. I don't.
amalgamation of
Yeah,
both of
she's
them now.
basically like the debutante. So like she remembers the debutante life where her parents didn't like take her to the cabin in the woods or whatever, but she also remembers like where she's like training with Nissa or not Nissa. I think she's just like both of those people in the same person now.
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That stuff
As much as
confuses me.
anyone is who moves through all these timelines.
Right.
But I like seeing her back. I wish there were more scenes with her and Barry, because Lacey girl. Here's her compliment for Oliver. Oliver Queen and Barry Allen is one of the best relationships in the Arrowverse and always will be. Nothing will change that from me. Like I think Grant and Steven had some of the best chemistry. I think they brought out some of the best sides of each other as actors, and as characters they challenged each other and they grew together. And so for me, like as much as I like to drag Oliver and so on, I do love that relationship, and that's why I would have loved to have seen more of Mia and Barry, especially because like. If we go back to Crisis Part 1, everyone is focused on Sarah and Barry crying their eyes out when Oliver dies. Mia had to watch her dad die in front of her after having only hung out with him for like 2 weeks. That's heartbreaking. That's something I wish they could have bonded over, and had that relationship with where Barry could have served that role that Oliver had in his life to her, like paying it forward. I hope this is like filling your birthday gifts, Lacey, with joy.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's like the most nice stuff I think I've ever heard you say about Oliver in like one time. I don't know. I like that idea though of him being kind of like a mentor to her. But then again, I like
Uncle Barry.
I'm not super mad that she got like
moments
such great Iris scenes too.
Yeah, and that was great. I love that Kat McNamara, who instead of interview, she was like, even if we didn't get here on the show, she kept referring to Barry and Iris as Uncle Barry.
I love that.
Iris.
Yeah, I love that Iris got to be sort of like like a mother figure kind of person, like giving her advice, helping her. Beautiful.
And everyone, you should go to dinnergeek.com and read Lacey's amazing interview with Kat McNamara, where she because I didn't notice, Lacey, if you want to tell, what did we find out that kind of gives our spin-off hopes some more?
Apparently, Kat McNamara and Jordan Fisher have been friends for years, so I'm like, okay.
Oh my god, all the kids together on one show. Let's go.
I know, let's go. Let's do it. I mean, I'm sure there's like, I don't know what. I forget where we netted out with Diggle's kid, like Connor. Was it Connor?
Connor Hawk and
I don't remember like
JJ.
Which version of him survived all the Crisis timeline business, but yeah, sign me up for that.
And then baby Sarah, or I guess she wouldn't be baby anymore in that in the present. Baby Sarah has more screen time on screen than baby Jenna has had. So no, but I love seeing Mia back, and I hope now that she's in the present, and again, it was so great to see that Iris, was able to give help her with a lead, and again, it's like they're leaving the door open, and because I wouldn't be shocked if we do see something later this season, or maybe in season 9, but I think a spin-off idea with Nora, Bart, and Mia. Again, because I think we were talking about this in the group chat about we all know at some point the Flash will end, and we're not saying it's happened this season. We have no idea at this point. I'm guessing personally that we are getting a season 9, because I don't imagine the CW being like, so the Flash, our number one highest rated show for 8 years, we're just gonna cancel in the middle of the season. No, I don't. They would never do it. If there's one thing CW is good at, they at least give most of their shows another year to wrap things up, maybe a short episode order, who knows? But I think a spin-off like that with the 3 of them would be so much fun. And again, because I feel like they did so much, Like I feel like almost all of season 8 of Arrow was setting up Mia like as this new bigger player. Like like she, I think she showed up in the middle of the season in the present. She and Oliver worked on their issues and whatnot, and then for them not to get like, and again, if it hadn't been for the pandemic, I'm sure we would have had it by now. Although making us wait for a whole year, that was kind of douchey. Like we're gonna get back to a pilot. We'll let you know in a year if it's going forward or not. I will say another Kuma with Mia was, and I remember because I screamed at Lazy, not out of anger, but out of excitement. I screamed at her in text. I'm like, they gave her a canary cry arrow. Oh my god!
I know trick arrows are the thing across all comic book properties.
Oh my god, that's. Everyone go watch Hawkeye. That it's so much fun. But yeah, I was just like, a canary cry arrow. Why have we not had this until now? But yeah, I'm hoping we will see William this season, and they can kind of at least wrap that up. So that and again, I will say that kudos to the Flash writers for actually, because I, honest to God, thought this was going to pick up like maybe a week or two after Canaries. But the fact that they actually allowed it to be 2 years, but at the same time, I'm like, but poor William, has he been fed? Has he clean clothes? Has he been like, does he get to watch things on Netflix or HBO Max? Like what? Like where is he and who has him? Just okay. Like actually, let's ask everyone in the chat and us on the panel. Yeah, I was talking to you, Lazy. Who do you actually think has William?
I mean, with this show, it's probably Thawne.
That would be funny.
If it was actually Thawne, then there would be a reason to bring him back.
Is that what you think too, Toddy?
No, I don't think it's Thawne. I mean, otherwise, I guess it could be Thawne, but I have to assume that the like lead that Iris gave her will lead somewhere, So if it kind of like leads back to Thawne sort of by proxy or like sideways, some like 6 degrees of Thawne maybe, but not like specifically Thawne, or they could have just resolved it in this crossover.
Yeah. Is there like a sort of shared Arrow Flash villain that it could be somehow?
Like in the comics or like between the two shows?
I was meeting between the two shows, but like, is there one of the comics they could just sort of steal?
Comics, I don't.
/ repurpose. I'm
trying to between the two shows. I mean, it would have been Captain Boomerang, I guess, but they killed him off. Malcolm, I mean, he's dead. Also, I don't think they're ever bringing him back for for various reasons. The shared, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of one. I mean, if Amanda Waller had still been alive, that could have been something.
Okay, I got one, even though it's not a shared one. Okay, you know how Ryan mentioned Lady in Red, and we were like, maybe it's the Red Death, right? Maybe it's the Red Death because it's a speedster who came from Batwoman. Somehow there was temporal thingies that had something to do with William for whatever reason. So maybe that's why she was following. That's what she was following, and Red Death came through there. I don't know. That's it.
I think that too. But even Javicia Lizzie, I think she wasn't even sure who it was. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I hope we just get a resolution to it. And again, and I'm like, what? It's not honestly shocking to me that Flash is the show that again deals with unresolved plot points from other shows. Like they've done it with Legends. I mean, again, the whole reason we have Black Siren is because they basically had to do damage control after.
Are you saying that Flash cleans up everyone else's messes?
Not that anyone would ever admit that, because everyone seems to always crap on Barry, when it's convenient for them. But like, that's technically what they did. Like, technically, that's what Flash has been doing. Like, the fact that we got better Ray Palmer material in one episode of the Flash this season than he got of I think most of season 5 of Legends. That just and we all know, we don't have to get into it, but we all know that Legends did not treat Ray and Nora well at all. Sorry, we're gonna say something.
I was gonna say that I was just gonna say they brought Nora back for no reason, just to be like, here's Nora again and she's okay.
I felt so bad, but again, she got comforted. At least Joe comforted someone in this episode.
I know. At least he didn't yell at her.
Yeah, no more yelling on the show, please. You know what? Even though I know we all have our feels about Damien Dark, we need to talk about the fact that he got the time stone, that he gave the time stone to Joe. I mean, it's so obvious that it's supposed to be a setup for Iris' story. And I think like when he closed his eyes and Joe was like, "Are you casting a spell right now?" He's like, "No, I'm not. But I think you're gonna need this." I think he saw what's happening to Iris, and he's just like, "I'm just gonna let them figure it out." Toddy, what do you think? Because I know you got to get going soon. So
I do gotta get going. What do I think? What do I think? What do
about
I think about
about Joe getting the time stone.
I was very confused as to what he meant when he was like, I think you're going to need this. And I was like, but why? Why is he going to need this? What does it mean? As with everything, I'm going to say that it will have to do with Iris' time sickness. All roads lead to Iris' time sickness. If not, I guess it could be like a super easy way to visit the kids in the future. I don't know.
True. Yeah, it will come handy. Please, what about you? What do you think? No, please don't. Wait, who was it? Who was about to pass on? Was it Lazy? See, you made me forget, Tati. You distract me. You're dangerous, Tatiana Hullender.
I am dangerous. That's true.
Yeah, or I guess if no one has anything to say about the times at all, yeah, I'm like again, like, I know what was it, Eric? He said like if Armageddon is Barry's worst day, second half of season 8 is like Iris' worst month or something. Actually, you know what? Let me look because I don't want to misquote.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that too, only because like I feel like they were like, all right, we're gonna stop Iris' time sickness treatment, and then I don't think they like started it again. So she's just like wandering around being, I don't know, phasing or whatever it is that her time sickness is causing her to do.
Yeah, she needs her treatments from Dion. Everyone, don't forget, don't say the F word.
I know, it's fine. Like I said last time, at least if I like Dion is the least annoying of the Fs probably, but also her sickness doesn't make any sense.
Here's what he said when we talked to him. Like, well, I have good news for you and I got bad news for you. I've not been lying. Iris' time is a huge part of the season. It does have its place in Armageddon in a good way. But for Iris, if Armageddon is Barry's worst day ever, the fallout of Armageddon is Iris' worst month ever. Because her time isn't going to get better overnight. It's going to get worse. And it's going to change Team Flash forever. And, well, here's a comment from Mind the Gap. And I know you and I, we've talked about like over the years. And I think the West are from the future, because isn't that literally from like a comics one? I think it was like
yes, Iris. It turns out Iris was adopted and actually from the future in the comics. However, of course, Iris is not adopted here, but it's possible that someone was from the future. I was hoping from the start, I wanted Francine to have been from the future, and that when she left or quote unquote died, it was that she had returned to the future, right? But no, they didn't do that because they were racist. But
well. That was the showrunners.
Yes, I know. I'm not saying that now. But I would love for them to do something with the Wests in the future. Maybe Damien Dark knows that Joe, whatever, came from the future. Maybe it was Joe that came from the future and doesn't even know it. Who knows?
I mean, better than having to spend time with Kristen Kramer. She just disappeared. She was in part 1 and now she's just gone.
Are we really complaining about
I know, I was like, don't
but hold on. I ain't complaining. I was just like, it's just so funny like how we like they were teasing it as like she was going to be a big deal, and then like she was literally in like 2 scenes, and at least
was a big enough deal for me.
At least she was nice enough. But yeah, Tati, I know.
Yes, I must run away from the pain.
Yeah, you're about to become a pumpkin again.
I am. Thank you all. Enjoy your feedback without me.
And you can find you at Marcella's Air on Twitter.
Yes, Marcella's Air on Twitter.
Ladies with Gumption.
Podcasts. Exactly. Ladies with Gumption, Papa La Carte, and then bylines will fly your way if you follow me or visit Marcella's Ear. Fare thee well.
Very well. We will see you in 2022. And she's gone. Time sickness got to her. She's gone. She's fading in and out. She went to see Dion to tell him that you're Lacey's least hated F person. It sounds like I give it someone is watching this being like, are they trying to say the F word and they just can't cut? Like, no, it's a different word that is completely
also
PG.
Starts with since I don't know that like I don't I feel like we had a really hard time this week, like breaking down what stories
It was
should
a little
go
difficult.
where. Maybe we do one last thing on like how do we feel about Armageddon as a whole?
Wait, can we? There's one segment specifically I need.
Oh wait, I know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. I over my lifetime, I've seen gray women and men cry over shoes, and I've never understood it once. I have laughed at them, being like, "Y'all, they're just shoes, and you're spending way too much money on them." Then Flash happened, and this happened, and y'all, I cried. I could barely focus on live tweeting, and then I cried some more, and like I even missed I missed some things that were happening because I was just like so obsessed with the shoes, with the boots that look fabulous, and they're gold, So yeah, just as a as a fun, and we can kind of tie this into the desperate of it all. Lazy, how you digging Barry's new look? And
I think the shoes look great. I also really like that they actually really tried to come up with an in-story reason why he had to have another costume addition, upgrade, change thing. I thought that was really cute. Granted, I do not fully understand why Chester felt the need to make his thing in the form of shoes, but good job, Chester. You are a man who can work in many mediums, apparently. Good job just guessing Barry's shoe size from Jump, too. I don't know. It looks really good. I'm glad that they, if I know a lot of people like Andy really are invested in the fact that they exist now. So I'm glad that they actually put some thought into why he would have them.
And then when it's desperately, how do you like?
I feel like the Despero in this episode was a little bit of a letdown from across the rest of the event. Like on the whole, I really thought this was a very well done little mini arc, and I think the show should do more stuff like this. Yes. But I feel like just to make Barry have to fight Despero for real in the last episode required a little bit of sort of narrative contortion that I was not like fully down with, because I think he was a more interesting character when he wasn't completely evil, and then all of a sudden he is completely evil, and now we have to fight and defeat him, etc., etc. I don't know. I just like from the mind controlling Mia to the big fight with Barry, it just felt like he became much more of sort of a typical Flash villain of the week thing they have to fight and defeat than he was before, and I just thought he was more interesting when he was not doing that.
Fair enough. What about you, Breeze?
Yeah, I agree. He became a little too one note towards the end. I thought he was more interesting in the earlier episode. Once the focus kind of shifted to Ebard, I think he kind of lost his place in the story. So I was just kind of sick of him by the end and not sad at all to have that wrapped up. Though, like, if they could, I don't know. I guess it was kind of they like. Didn't he say he like lost his connection to the fire of whatever Kalnor? And so it's just like I feel like he could have just gone away. I don't know why it had to be like this big thing. Like, oh, Barry took away his power. Like, just go away.
Yeah, for me, I will, like to the show's credit. Again, I agree with Lee that this was a great 5-parter event, and so again, like I rather have arcs like this where like we have an arc for 5-6 episodes, then we go on to a new one, and then we go on to a new one, and so on. Like it's kind of like reading like like literally a graphic novel or like a mini series in comic format. So, but I will say that because and maybe this was just me like reading too much into Desperate and so on, because I think maybe I had a different perception. I don't know, but like for me, I felt that okay, he was willing to destroy the city because like he saw the issue that Eobard would become, and he was like, you know what, if you won't listen to reason, I like for him, like he does like Central City has no meaning to him. So for him, I could see him being like, you know what, I'm willing to destroy this city if it means that Eobard will definitely die, because at least I've given Barry 3 chances across 5 episodes and he won't listen. So And and like I did like the showdown. I get there was one moment like where Barry was like making a lot of clones of himself. I was like my inner like Naruto fan was going like, oh my god, Barry is so channeling his inner Naruto right now. This is so funny. But so that was kind of cool. And again, like for me, like I'm you know I'm cheesy. I like some goofy superhero villain fight. Like for me, like they don't need to be super deep. They don't need to be whatever and so on. I think it's fun, and with Desperate, like yeah, like I don't know if this is the last time we've seen him. For me, I don't mind if Tony Curran comes back because I think Tony I think he did great. Um, and I like the flame thing. I was a little like I didn't completely understand it. So but I thought it was okay. I thought it was solid. So I think there was more better things in the plot going on than actual showdowns. But but also at the same time, this is the first time the Flash has really done an event like this. And like I know they've been doing graphic novels, but this is the first time they've done something in this kind of light. Um, Mind the Gap says the Arrowverse really doesn't do overload type of villains well, do they? Well, I guess it's because like they need to nerf them a little bit because otherwise like it would be because in the comics they like I mean they've spent like 12 issues on certain like villains that are in that capacity. I mean like heck like Crisis on Infinite Earths 12 issues on the Anti-Monitor basically. So I guess they have like again like I understand and am okay with the idea that they have to do certain creative different choices and changes. And Despero, again, because Despero isn't a huge villain in the DC universe anyway, I'm fine with the liberties they took here. And if he comes back, maybe they will look back and see, what did we do good and what can we do better. So, but yeah, and by both lazy, I hear what you're saying. Like he could like Flash sometimes has this tendency of, like they start with great villains and then sometimes they kind of fall. Like either they make it or break it.
Mm-hmm. Like they very much have to. For all that some villains will have a lot of nuance when they start out, they all sort of end up in the same place sometimes, a lot of the time, really. And that kind of is depressing.
Yeah, like I would love to go back to some like like what we got with Bloodwork and our favorite Step on Me Mirror Mistress. I hope Eva comes back. She's so great. Oh my god, Lazy, can you imagine Eva and Mia together, like either whether they're fighting or whatever, just in the same room together?
Because I also feel like that's another villain who started out really like interesting and nuanced and sort of in a gray area who just became world domination, world destruction kind of thing. They pulled it back some at they pulled it back some towards the end with like the Care Bear stare thing or whatever. But
oh my god.
Like I don't know. I wish they didn't feel like they had to make it so cut and dry at the end. I think Breeze's point is great. Like if he just lost his connection to his flame of whatever, like he could just leave. Like and then we could see him again at some point down the road where he is trying to like maybe he becomes more evil because that has been taken away from him, but I don't think it would be like 30 seconds later.
Yeah, and I mean he probably went back to Kalanor, I guess, to like, because again, like, he didn't sound like he was dying. He said, like, you will pay for this, Flash. Whether it is his own people coming to avenge him, or if it's Despero coming back stronger and better, who knows? But as a whole, going back to what we were saying, like, as a whole, how do we feel about Armageddon? If you want to start, Lacey.
I really liked it. I feel like it was, other than, I mean, it like that very end was a little bit kind of like, but on the whole, I feel like it was really cohesive and it really was a Flash story that worked in all these other people from different parts of the Arrowverse and different shows. And I wish that, or rather I hope and wish that the lesson they take from this is that it is possible to do these smaller stakes things that still feel very much a part of a fabric of something larger. Like it doesn't have to be a 5-night, 5 different show thing to acknowledge that these other characters and cities and worlds and relationships exist. And even by doing it in very small ways, like it makes the whole thing feel better and richer. So yeah, I'm thumbs up for the most part on Armageddon.
Breeze, what about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good event. Again, I think it maybe could have been 4 episodes instead of 5. But I thought otherwise it was, as Lacey said, a great way to incorporate other characters of the Arrowverse without doing this big over the top crossover. Like, it still really felt like a Flash story, just with all those other characters making an appearance. I thought it was one of the better Ebard stories we've gotten in a while, even if there was too much time spent discussing whether or not he should live. I think it really utilized most of Team Flash pretty well. So I was really happy with it, and I hope the rest of the season kind of keeps at this level.
Yeah, for me, I had a lot of expectations going into it, and I, for the most part, I was very, very happy. Like I was, it was like, for me, like it was, for especially for me who's been podcasting about this show now for 8 years, like this is like the feeling I had every Tuesday, every Tuesday night. At 8, I would always, since season 1, I've been here, live tweeting every episode. Now, of course, that has changed, because it's nice that we take, everyone takes turns and whatnot. But for me, it was just, I had that feeling that I had back in season 1 of like, well, this week, we're going to see Black Lightning. Next week, like this week, we're seeing Batwoman. We're seeing, so and so. And, but again, at the end of the day, like, because for me, one of the main reasons I love the show so much is Barry Allen. And for me, it was very important that Barry is the one that gets to grow from this story. That he, gets, for me, like, it was nice not to have, had to listen to, not to say the Team Flash. I love Team Flash, but I feel like there's times where like they don't, like, where Barry doesn't get to shine on his own. And this time, like, again, like he was using his powers in so many new different ways. Like I know people in the comments are talking about the season stuff, which perfectly fine. Again, it's a show in its 8th season, and they're doing what they can. So, but again, just seeing some of these kind of comic book type of fights on television is incredible. And and also just seeing that Barry is involved, and just also getting the fact that, I mean, I know like in part 1 and part 2 we were all like super confused, like what is going on here, like like Joe is dead, how did this happen, whatever and so on, why is Cecile so loud? I'm mean, but but in the end, like for me, like as we look into the rest of season 8, I feel confident that we're still seeing a stronger Barry. We're seeing, we're gonna see, characters who are evolved. We're gonna see, like, again, whatever fall there is from Armageddon, we will see that. And I, like Lacey said, it for me, like I don't need, I know that everyone like is like saying that, oh well, when this pandemic is over, which will probably not be for several years, but people are talking about like like I hope they do like Blackest Night, or they do this story and this story and so on. But like, at this point, like, I don't think that's a place there is at anymore. I feel like Crisis was an end of that kind of era, and I think that these kind of events are way better. Like, if, for example, if we're gonna have any type of like large scale crossovers, maybe we have a Flash and a Superman Lois crossover, or like kind of like back in early season era in the Flash, when he was literally, on Tuesday, it's part 1 of the Flaro crossover, and then on Wednesday the next night it is the Flaro part 2 crossover. Things like that is perfectly fine too, because again, these type of like I don't think, and chime in if you want, either of you if you want to, I don't think we're ever gonna see something like Crisis on Infinite Earth ever again. Like, given where we are now, like not just because of the pandemic, but just if you look at the lineup we have of shows right now. But that's just me. But yeah, no, go on, Lacey.
No, I was going to say, and for a little bit, I don't know that we need them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Crisis was such a big event and a big thing that the whole like TV universe had been building toward. It's okay to do smaller stuff for a little bit. I think it can be equally impactful. Not every, and the thing is that I feel like you get some more meaningful interactions in smaller things like this than you do in a huge thing like Crisis, which has like 37 characters, and maybe they get to exchange 4 words, and there you go.
Yeah, and like and it's, and like I said, and I know I keep bringing this up all the time. So, but but bear with me. Again, this is a show that is right now in its 8th season, and that means that there are some things they can do, and there's some things they can't do anymore. And and the fact that we got something like Armageddon like this, especially during this year, and then we got we got to see Black Lightning come in, and Batwoman, and the Atom, and and Sentinel, and so on, and Mia Queen, and also like getting scenes like I feel like if anything, Mia is one of those characters like that got the most conclusions. Not that it is her final time in the universe, because I think we're gonna see her again next year. But like for a character who was like mistreated a little bit, like given how much they were setting her up, and then they just don't go forward with it because the network had whatever reason they had. Like again, like I love the fact that we're okay. The William thing isn't completely solved yet, but that's something they can do on the fly, or if they want to do it on Legends, whatever. So yeah, I think that's all we can say about it. So and I'm sure we're gonna revisit Armageddon, like maybe for commentary episodes in the future, or maybe we do like a whole like full like long breakdown episode of like all 5 parts. Whenever we all get time to rewatch all 5 parts. And so, but yeah, ladies, shall we get to some listener feedback? And everyone in the chat who's again, thank you so much for tuning in and being with us. Start getting your feedback together, and we're gonna getting some tweets and emails. So Lizzie, want to kick off? And I get the next.
The tweets. All right, our first tweet is from @DMLH_14, who says, that was an amazing all caps episode. Twists, turns, cameos, surprises, new arcs, new resets, new clues, and oh yeah, all caps, the boots.
Chef Danny says, #OMG, and then best season so far, and the sneak of what's to come is going to be even better.
Quakes the Goon says, so good. If the rest of the season was as good as those 5 episodes, this season might save the expletive show that we called season 7.
Oof. Football Man 58 says, wait till it was over to comment. First, it was overall very enjoyable. The action part of it was as good as the twist in part 4. Very impressed. Not perfect, but the best thing the show has done since season 3 outside the crossovers. Long wait for more Flash. Yes.
I think I really agree with that. Casey Lau 1 says, another good episode with some pretty bad moments. Barry's lightning is now like a shield? Telekinetic? Some kind of explanation of them would be great. Some of the hero dialogue was cringy, and I think Armageddon should have been saved for another time story. The story was fine, but not Armageddon level. Great to see the guests like Mia, Alex, and the Ryans, and Joe is back. Aside from the title, I thought the crossover as a whole was pretty good, and I'm assuming more Bart and Nora are on the way. Keep it up, showrunners.
And Ollie Lucifer Stan, is this someone who ships Lucifer and Oliver? I'm not sure. Saying about that, Mia Queen needs her own show immediately. It's a shame it doesn't exist already. The Arrowverse needs a Green Arrow. Amen.
Amen. And Abigail 23 says, why does the show not try to hide identities anymore? I can't remember the last time they actually blurred Flash or reversed Flash's faces in a scene. Everyone knows. It's fine.
Also like that always seems to me, always felt like that's probably one of the more expensive things they have to do, like because like without having to make like putting like a CGI stand in, like they have to do it to like Grant and Tom's face, like in physical form. I guess there was one part we forgot to talk about before we go to our email, and this shot. And I think we have an idea what we're gonna be dealing with when we come back for 806 at the end of the episode, and in the post-credit scene, the cops go like, "Oh, I'm so glad everything's back to normal." Not really, that's the thing you do not say in the Arrowverse, because suddenly we see a picture of New Year's Eve 2014, and suddenly, literally electrifies Bart West Allen, and Nora West Allen into the picture, setting up what's coming in 806. Any thoughts on that, Lazy and Breeze?
I was excited that they confirmed that we're seeing more of Bart and Nora this season because I love both of them, and I also love that Bart's wearing like, remember when they go to Earth 2 and nerdy vest wearing Barry has like glasses and a vest, and this feels very that vibe, but I'm into it.
Agreed. No, that's
I
what. Yeah,
couldn't tell if they were glasses or like his goggles. I guess they are glasses, but they
It,
are
look,
like
I,
really
it
thick.
looks like glasses.
Yeah, it probably is now that I look at it. But yeah, I'm also extremely excited to see them. I think they were one of the best parts of last season, and will probably end up being one of the best parts of this season because they're great. So.
especially if you're gonna go on the play date with Mia.
Yeah, I just want to see them like
really
hanging
want-
out. Well, we didn't talk about the fact that all of Team Flash for some reason gets dressed up really fancy, and Barry rents out a swanky bar for them. So I just want to see like Mia, Bart, and Nora just at the club, I guess, like from Mia's clubbing days. I don't know.
They did all look really good. I liked that they all got to get dressed up.
Yeah, that green dress that was good. Also, I'm sorry, just last point that I forgot to bring up was anyone else thrown off by Mia's whole like I don't want to go see my mom while I'm here?
I sort of got it. Like, to me, it's the part where she said that she really felt like because she's had such frustration trying to find her brother, I think she's been sort of ashamed to like go see Felicity and tell her all the stuff she's done. She implies that she's had to do some kind of dark stuff along the way on this search, and she doesn't know that her mom would be proud of her, of the person she feels like she's becoming. I hope Aunt Iris's pep talk has turned her away from that path, because it does sound like she's going to go talk to Felicity now,
Yeah.
which is good.
Aunt Iris to the rescue. All right, Breeze, hit us with that email from Libby.
Okay. Hi. Let's just go down. Hi, Flash Podcast. The last part of Armageddon was fine, but I wish there had been more action and stakes. Based on the cliffhanger from last week, I was expecting Thawne to have some deadly plan as opposed to what we got instead. The dilemma of do we protect the villain? Do we kill them? Do we allow them to die? Do we make a moral exception so we can stop the bad guy? Has come up several times, like with Joseph Carver, Grodd, Cicada, Savitar, Zoom, and now Thawne, which when you put it that way, yeah, it comes
Oh
up
wow,
a lot.
That is a lot.
It's as if the writers expect us to side with Joe and want Flash to be a martyr for his moral code, when actually we just want to see Barry win. Obviously, we don't want Barry to be another Oliver Queen. Sorry, Lacey, but they make it seem so black and white.
Are you okay, Lacey?
It's fine.
I really like Thawne's scenes with Caitlin and Barry, where we just got to see how evil and twisted this guy is. It was amusing that even when with his life in Barry's hands, Thawne still said he would spend his life making Barry's life hell. While I knew Thawne wouldn't die because the show hasn't ended yet, I do kind of feel like they've done all they can with this character. And really, what is a more fitting end than to erase the anachronism that is Thawne's existence, given that Eddie sacrificed himself so Eobard would never be born? Very good point. No one cares about Eddie's sacrifice anymore.
I know.
But more to the point, I just don't think the entire episode needed to be spent talking this over. I agree. Letting Thawne disappear was the right thing to do, and no one would have blamed Barry if he did, other than Joe, apparently. Also, Despero was just annoying, and he fulfilled no real purpose other than to be a foil for Barry to realize that letting Thawne die would make him no better than Despero. Then again, it was weird that Despero, who doesn't even know Thawne, was more adamant about killing him than Barry was. Changing subject, I like Mia and Iris's dynamic, and think Candace has been killing it with all of her scenes this crossover. The party scenes at the end were nice, but I wish we had an actual West Allen scene. Overall, I think this crossover was great. Which it's not crossover, it's an event, but I'm just correcting that just so Eric doesn't get mad at us. But this episode didn't add any value other than fleshing out Reverse Flash's origins. Based on the promo, I'm looking forward to seeing Bart and Nora's shenanigans, where the timeline seems to be in jeopardy again. I have no doubt it will be worth the wait. Happy holidays, everyone, and see you in March. Happy holidays, Libby. Thanks for your email.
Happy holiday. We will. You will see us a little bit next year. So, but thank you for your email. If anyone who tweeted, you can always tweet us at the Flash Podcast on Twitter after every episode is aired, and then you can email us at theflash@gmail.com, like Libby does. So, but let's look in the chat before we wrap things up. Let's see what people have been saying. Oh my god, there's a lot of comments tonight. So, let's see. Mind the Gap brings up again. Emiko, I guess, could have been a young female Green Arrow running around, but they used her character for a villain, made her a new character to do the same thing. Well, at least Emiko is in a, I think what happened after Christ said in there, series fan, like she was back and like she seemed to be nice now. So Lila goes like, "It's your birthday, Lacey. Was yesterday. That's why she got me a bag." Eric was like, "I know when this episode is airing."
I know. It's like I stay winning.
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday was her birthday. I hope you had a great one, Lacey. Let's see. Mind the Gap says nor was Alan, Bart, Mia, and even William would lead the same time travel plot going with Apparition and Phantom Girl. Maybe anything is possible. Here's some time travel villains that they fought, that Mind the Gap thought that could be the one who kidnapped William. Kronos, Monarch, Abracadabra. I mean, he dead though. And Time Trapper, Epoch, and Perdegaton. Why does that name sound so familiar? Whatever. Let's see. They talk about Wes being from the future, maybe. Let's see. Lido says, I mean, I liked it overall. It just didn't really stick the landing. Whether or not that my expectation, which is a whole fair precision on its own, I know, lol. But even at the end with Fawn, just felt meh at the end. Even the how. Barry just stands there and hits Fawn with a lightning bolt, and that was it. But overall, I did really like what and how they did the story. I mean, at least he wasn't just standing; he was generating. Easer's. I mean, it's not an easy task to just generate lightning out of your body. I haven't tried, but I will let you know if I get struck by lightning and chemicals. And then start running around like a crazy person. My buddy Chainsaw reacts here. He says, "I don't want to wait till March till we see Flash again." But we've been saying the same thing since we got the news. But that's what we're dealing with.
Honestly, I would truly rather that it take these big breaks rather than do that thing it did a few years ago where it'd be like one new episode and then like 3-week gap.
You mean like this year?
Was that everything from 2020 to 2022 has all come together for me into one blob of the same.
We're still in 2020. We're still in 2020.
Yeah, it's like month 700 of 2020
Groundhog
right
Day.
I like that better because it gets harder for the show to get to feel cohesive and to really build momentum when it's like one episode every month or something. So I'd rather just suffer and then get a bunch together.
Yeah, and also it's, and for me because we know we have 30 more episodes, and as they I don't know what episode number they're filming right now. I think they're maybe doing 7 or 8, but it's again, the fact that production can now flow on, because last year, this past season was a nightmare because at the beginning of season 7 they literally had to stop after almost 2 or 3 weeks, and we know there are variants now, so who knows what will happen. So if we had to wait 3 months to be able to get, I guess there will probably be at least one other break that is a shorter one because of there's holidays or special events on TV. But I agree with Lacey, because I remember last year when COVID first kicked in, we had no idea what was going to happen. First, we got up to episode something after Christ Says, and then we came back for 2 episodes, and then we were gone. Then we came back for 2 episodes, and then we were gone. And then we didn't get to finish those final 3 episodes. So I agree with you, Lacey. Minor Gap says, I didn't feel like a crossover event. That was the point. But a mini season, and that's a compliment. 8 out of 10. Team Flash took up too much time. I can see. I can agree to parts of that. Craig decides to be. He shows violence and goes, everything is normal, and then Hiram Lodge leaves a bomb under their bed. Sir, if you're I don't even know if Craig is in the chat anymore, but if you are, sir, coming in here, bringing Riverdale. Have you all been watching Riverdale, by the way? Riverdale.
No, I'm so proud of myself. I haven't watched it all this season. I'm so tempted to watch just the Riverdale part, but my roommate is like, no, because if you watch that, you'll just keep watching and it'll suck you in. And I'm like, you're right. And apparently the Sabrina part wasn't worth it. So
I still haven't finished last season. The time jump really just did a number on the show, in my opinion, and I don't.
Was it really that bad though? I feel like it fixed some. I don't think it was that bad.
I thought it was, the time jump was okay at first, and then it quickly got stupid. But that's just my opinion.
Breathe, as we all know, is correct.
That is true. Craig goes, convenient they have a swanky bar set now. Craig, what does that even mean? Oh, you with the riddles.
I mean, maybe they'll get to party more now that they have a bar set.
That would be fun. Mr. Deadshot FF says, I wonder if Bart and Nora are best friends with Team Arrow. I guess it means like in the future. I mean, we know that Jordan Fisher and Cam McNamara know each other. Wait, what did they know? Like, did they work with each other on something, or are they just friends?
I mean, she didn't say in an interview, or at least not what is included in Lacey's interview, so I don't know.
Well, I just expected Lacey to get all the, some of the she let some secrets.
Okay.
Lacey, anything you want to say to your defense? No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
My work stands as my work. My work stands as my defense.
No, I was just kidding, but yeah, no, but I get, but they know each other, and that mean, and I would love to see them just together on screen. I know because she was doing an Instagram live, and she brought up on like, oh yeah, like it's fun that we're in the same universe, same franchise. Ollie says, happy holidays to all of you. You have a Merry Christmas and a great New Year, Team Flash forever. Likewise to you, Ollie. Craig says, Paradegaton was referenced on Stargirl. There you go. Mr. Deadshot wonders, will we continue the timeline after Bart and Nora left or after Armageddon? I guess maybe they mean because the trailer made it seem like they were going to pick up right after, the WoW renewal in season 7, because they were including footage from that episode. So what do we think? Like, how? I don't know. How do they? What do they do in 2014? For all we know.
I don't even remember 2014. What even happened in 2014?
I mean, Barry. That was season 1 of Flash. That means that Barry had just started being the Flash. Because in the trailer, Bart they're going around in the lab. And he's like, "Oh my god, this is where Dad got his power."
Maybe they'll be like, "Look, Dad used to work a job."
Could this be when we see Ronnie? Are they going?
Oh,
how far are they going back? Sorry, I got distracted googling, so I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Ronnie is because he said he posted recently on Instagram that he's working. So I think it's supposed to be later in the maybe episode 10 or whatever. Because when we come back, we get episode 6. Craig goes, Barry calls Riverville when he did that Flashpoint crap. I don't even think Barry would want to do that because I mean, last episode was very amusing and entertaining, but I don't even think Barry would want to get into the Archie universe. He would be like, "Why is maple syrup such a big thing here?"
Do not let Roberto get his hands on Barry. No, thank you.
No, yeah, I don't. Roberto, stay away. As soon as they had Veronica specify it was 2021 post time jump, they should have known they effed up. Says Daryl. The math in Riverdale. Sorry, just quick tangent. How do they think? So we're doing a 7-year time jump. We started the show in 2016, 2017, and it's 2021.
Also, there was some sort of war that Archie fought in that they never specify. Anyway, I have many complaints about the time jump.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know you're gonna give in and watch Riverdale at some point. I know you will, Breeze.
Okay, well, don't tell the listeners. I have to save face, so don't tell anyone.
I'm just giving my prediction. Or I will actually spoil something when we record one day, and you'll be like, "And did you really have to?" But I guess that's gonna be it. Unless people have anything else they want to say, which. Do it now because we're gonna start wrapping up. I know I'm gonna be back for at least one more episode, but Lazy and Breeze for you two, it's the last one for this year. You're all not leaving. It's thank God, because I could not do this podcast without you free. Shout out to Tatiana. But so if you want to say anything to the listeners before we go,
thanks for being here, guys. This has been a real lifeline for me during pandemic times. So I am grateful that y'all are here. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We will be back to, I'm sure, yell at plot inconsistencies with you as soon as we can.
Yeah, thanks for everyone to listening to us for another year, tuning in even during our long hiatus. You guys are still listening to our episodes, which we appreciate. and everyone have happy holidays. I hope you stay healthy, happy, and warm. Unless you're in Los Angeles or somewhere else warm, then I don't care how you're feeling since you're not in the cold.
It was really cold in LA today. One of my friends has been complaining about it all day long.
Was it? Okay, I have to take it
Yeah.
back.
Or LA? I don't believe
it was like 39 in LA today, which is
okay. That actually is pretty cold. I
That
thought
is
you were going to
actually
say it was
cold.
like 50 or something.
What happened? Did Cecile come to LA and bring the winter with her?
Also, everyone get boosted. It is scary out there.
Yes, please do. I'm getting mine next month, early January. So I had it confirmed yesterday. So like guys, no matter what people are saying out there, this thing is not over. And more than ever, read the news every day. Lives are still being lost, and people are still endangering each other and so on. So if you haven't gotten vaccinated, go get vaccinated. Wear a mask. Social distance. If that's what the the regulation are saying, do it. Because hey, I want to see these girls again before I leave this earth. I want to go back to Comic-Con and hang out with them. Like all four of us together have still not been together. So like needs to happen. So I want to go to cons again. I want to go and sit in those sweaty Comic-Con press rooms and be in LA and in California where it is like there is no winter, there is no cold. So yeah, so just get boosted if you can. And we will get through this together, because when you get boosted yourself, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping everyone around you, your loved ones, strangers, and we are in this together. So that's my Andy talk or TED talk, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so this has been fun doing it live. Sorry, Lisa, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just unmuting, so I was ready to be. I don't know.
When I see you guys, I want to be like, oh, I want to make sure that they get to speak because I talk way too much, and this ain't just my podcast. This is all yours.
Let us return to happy holidays.
Yes. So so I will be back for another episode with some guests. But again, this has been fun doing it live. So I'm sure we're gonna be doing it for the season finale, or if we have some special interviews, we will see. So we we're gonna be going back to like pre-record episodes. So definitely keep those Apple Podcasts and wherever you get your podcasts downloads from, active. So because we like that. But yeah, you can like I said, you can find Tatiana at Marcella's Ear on Twitter, and look in her bio, you can find all of her work. Lacey, where can we find you on social media and your other projects?
I am at Lacey MB on Twitter. That is LACYMB, and I write about a lot of things around the entertainment web, but I am on the Flash beat over at Den of Geeks, so check all my thoughts out there that you've heard a lot of here already, but still. Elsewhere, I am on another podcast called Televisions, which is about British TV and movies and things, which there's just a glut of so much content everywhere right now. So if your Venn diagram is like mine, come check that out too.
Have you been covering the new season Doctor Who?
We did an episode on it. I have a lot of thoughts about the new season.
Oh no, is this season bad too?
It's not very good.
Oh.
Womp womp.
I love poor Jodie Whittaker. She deserves better.
She does deserve better.
Breeze, what about you? Where you're at on social media and other projects?
You can find me on Twitter at Breeze Riley, Justice League Dark Podcast, themarvelreport.com, telltaletv.com, where we just published our top 20 sci-fi fantasy shows of the year. So check that out and see which CW shows made the list. Quite a few, since they're the only network that really does sci-fi and fantasy of the big five. But check that out, and you can find the rest of my stuff there too.
Excellent stuff. And you can find me on social media at Andy Behbakht, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Vero. Go find me there. And everything else is my bio, Marvel Report, Screen Rant, so on. So yeah, and because we've been going kind of long, so all those plugs you need for the podcast are in the show notes, and in the audio format of this episode, it's in the show notes as well. So go follow the podcast on social media, subscribe. If you've been enjoying our coverage of Armageddon live for the last 5 weeks, not only should you go give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, you should also give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live with brand new videos or the other podcasts that we have on this amazing network. And you know what? If you want to give a birthday gift to Lacey, you should go and do all that. And then also tell her that Mia Queen is amazing and that you should scream about bring back greener and canaries. I don't know what the hashtag would be. Lacey can decide. Oh my god, that was that was so scary. Like exactly.
I know. I'm trying to mentally manipulate people like Despero.
Well, Despero would pull on Joe and be like, "You need to do this, Flash." Bless Tony Curran. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in for our live coverage of Armageddon. We will be back. I will be back next week, and then we're gonna close out the year. So, we're gonna enjoy this intro one last time from David Jones and Mike Schmidt. Bless those guys, and we will see you on the next one. So, say goodbye, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.